Why is everybody so obsessed with this knees over toes guy? Most of what he's talking about is utter nonsense. And I'm going to show and explain and prove it to you with some logical explanations about some of his really silly exercise recommendations. What's up, guys? Jay Vincent here, goldenerasystem.com. If you want a research based approach to exercise that actually works and won't screw up your knees and your shoulders and waste your time in the process, go to goldenerasystem.com. And I'm throwing in a free home workout video series with it as well. So, as the title suggests, knees over toes guy. I've been looking into a couple of things about him by request, and there's a couple of things I found. First of all, he's recommending putting your knees over your toes as a way to strengthen your knees or place more of an emphasis on the quadriceps. While this is correct, there's a couple of problems with it. First of all, the only thing you're getting out of placing your knees over your toes during these exercises is you're getting a longer lever from the axis of rotation and the load, which is providing more involvement on the quadriceps. You could simply work your quadriceps harder by just using a damn leg extension machine, which is literally designed to apply tension in the function of knee flexion, which is the purpose of the quadriceps. So you don't need to be dragging a sled or doing any of these silly variations of squats to just get your quads to work harder. You can use a tool or a machine that was literally designed to do that. So nonsense. Second of all, whether or not your knees go over your toes is going to depend on a couple of anatomical things that may not be under your control. The longer your foot is, the harder it's going to be to get your knee over your toe. If you have a longer upper leg, it is going to be easier to get your knee over your toes because you're going to be able to provide that longer lever. If you have a shorter upper leg, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to get your knee over your toe without tipping over or losing center of gravity. Another thing is dorsiflexion or ankle flexibility. Some people, their ankle flexibility is so poor that it's going to be very, very tough for you to get your knee over your toe without your upper body or hips going back or you likely falling over. So, this knee over toe advice doesn't even apply to a lot of people, people with different upper leg lengths, different lower leg lengths. If you have a longer lower leg, it's going to be much harder for you to get your knee over your toes. And it doesn't take into account genetic variations in dorsiflexion and ankle flexibility. If you are trying or attempting to do these exercises to rehab your knee or strengthen your legs or strengthen your knee, keep in mind all that is required for you to strengthen and rehab your knee is just applying load to the muscles which work with the knee, the quadriceps. And we have a machine that is literally designed to do this very, very safely without having to worry about maintaining center of gravity, without having to worry about toppling over. It's called a leg extension machine, and they're all pretty decent. So if you want to rehab or strengthen your knee, all you really need to do is a minimum range of motion knee extension or time static contraction or isometric work with a knee extension machine. That's all you really need to do. Now, another problem with knees over toes guy is this huge range of motion he uses with his squats and does all kinds of bending and twisting, showing his knee flexibility. And this is because of a couple of reasons. One, he has great knee flexibility, or great ankle flexibility, rather, pretty much genetic. Number two, he's got long, skinny legs. So what this allows him to do is get a huge amount of knee flexion because of his skinny legs. People who have bigger quads or even normal sized legs, they're going to have a hard time bending their knee that much because of compression forces. And when the hamstring interacts with the calf, it's going to happen at a much sooner point, and they're not going to get that same degree of knee flexion. This can actually be a problem too. If you have bigger quads, what happens is when your hamstring meets your calf, you're going to have compression forces. This is going to do is actually shift the lever as your hamstring and your calf touches and compresses and squeezes, what it's going to do is pry against your knee joint, which is actually going to separate the joint in the knee and make it more dangerous for your knee. So imagine this is my upper leg, this is my lower leg. As I come down and I squat really far down and let my legs touch, my calves touch my hamstrings, it's going to actually pry apart my knee joint, which is bad. So you really don't want to go down that far, and going down that far not only is not only not going to be magically beneficial for rehabbing or strengthening your knees, it's going to be extremely dangerous for your knees. Okay, so I highly recommend against doing that. So basically, when it comes down to it, it's super simple to strengthen your knee and rehab it and prevent it from injury. Just strengthen your quadriceps muscles, pretty much strengthen your whole lower body. A very, generous, short range of motion squat is going to do that. A leg press is going to do that. A knee extension is going to be great for rehabbing and strengthening the knee. In fact, on my MedX and Nautilus knee extension machines, I've helped dozens of individuals rehab, strengthen, and prevent knee injuries. Very simple, using static contractions, isometric holds, and relatively short range of motion on these exercises. So you don't need any of this knee over toes nonsense. All you need is a logical approach to stimulating the targeted muscle areas involved with the knee, the quadriceps, and doing it in a safe, efficient fashion. And all you really need is a knee extension. If you guys could, please hit the like, subscribe, the bell notification icon so you can be notified when I debunk some more of this friggin' fitness nonsense with some logical explanations to exercise and nutrition. If you want a research-based, logical approach to exercise, go to goldenerasystem.com and try my Golden Era system. This is a workout based on the vast majority of exercise literature, and it will get you insane results quickly, safely, and time efficiently.